It's Tino from TinoVo.shop. I do a lot of caviar beads, and if you watch this video, you do too, and you know all about the struggles. So today, I'm gonna unlock the secrets. So if people ever work with caviar bead, a lot of people can get very nervous of caviar bead, and the reason why people get nervous of it because caviar beads are unmanageable when it's so tiny, and you have to find a way to pick it up and release it, right? And then you have to find a way to hold caviar bead on a nail surface to make art from it before you even cure it. So people problem is they just don't know what material to use. And that is when I come out with clear texture gel, because clear texture gel is a gel that you can apply, like I can put on like a line right here. And then whatever you apply on it, it will froze it in time. Like it will not budge, it will stay put, it will not move, it will not slip. And when people use caviar bead, they usually use a builder gels. And you see a builder gel is cell level. For building the nails, for encapsulation, it is completely smooth. It's 3D, but it's smooth. So anything that are smooth, when you use it to draw a line, people think that because it's thick, that it can hold the bead well. That's not the case at all. Even if it's thick, as long as the gel is cell level, when you put on bead, it's gonna start sliding. And the reason why it starts sliding, because cell level means it want to move, it want to spread. So it can be all nice and smooth, and you don't want that with a bead. So clear texture gel is completely opposite than a builder gels. I already apply a line, and now I just take a surface of the palette and I just wipe my brush like this. So it has gel on it, it's sticky, but it's not caked with gel, because the last thing you want to do is pick up like a whole bunch of bead. That would be messy. You just want to pick up one bead at a time. As scary as that sound, that is the easiest way to do it. And you always want to close the lid when you don't use it, because clear texture gel are very special and it's very sensitive with light. So you want to be careful when you have light on it. And with this brush now have gel in it, but remember I doing this, so it's not caked with gel, it's just sticky. So now I taken this, and when I touch it, I end up with one bead. Okay. And the reason why I don't have this brush caked with gels, because the amount of gel on here are very thin on this brush. And it's sticky enough to hold the bead temporarily, but it's not strong enough to hold on to the bead if I were to put this. And sometimes it will slide up on you just because it's not strong enough to stick to the bead. It's just strong enough to hold the bead, where when you play your bead right onto the clear texture gel surface, it will grab onto the bead immediately and it will let go. And that is one of the challenge people face, is by picking it up and release it. It's just hard for them. First of all is when they pick up a bead, right? If they have like a whole bunch, like I'm gonna get a whole bunch, and they pick up like this, what you gonna do with this? There is nothing you can do with this but to release it randomly. And then this is what I do at the beginning. When I'm inexperienced, I will release it randomly, and then I would try to like push it together in a line like that. I used to do that. If you find yourself still do it until this day, just push it into a line. That is a bad idea. You know why? Because when you smush your bead around, your surface gonna be messy, gonna be wet and messy, and then all your bead gonna start to slide. It's not gonna do that with clear texture gel. I use builder gel back in the old days, so it slide on me. Clear texture gel, it might be able to stand like this, but you don't want a messy background like this. That's awful. So that is why it's still the best to prep your brush right. To what it's just sticky, but it's not full of gel. Therefore, when I take this brush and stick it randomly into the crowd, I automatically pick up one bead. I I don't even have to see it. Back in the day, I have to like really eye on the bead and catch it with my brush. No, I just touch it and I just place in it. See, and I just release it. Very easy. I do it one more time. See, a whole bunch of bead. I just blindly stab my brush in. Okay. Okay. Do you see? I just pick up 2 bead. Now, this is where the trick is when you putting your brush into this, you don't want your brush to touch the edge of these, because if that gel left over in this container, it will stick into each other. You want all your bead to be loose. That's why sometimes I take my finger and I do this just to separate them, just in case they stick together. Now, 2 beads still okay, because remember, you are in control. You just need to turn in a proper way, touch and release. See that? So that is because problem is a picking up, and the releasing is one of the biggest problem too. Because when they release it, usually if you release and your bead don't go anywhere, if it like keep holding on to the brush and you have to like yank it up, like your children when you send them to kindergarten for the first time, the first day ever, and they don't want to let go. They'll be like, oh no, I want to go. It's like that. So the releasing is just as challenging as a pickup. And now I'm gonna do it fast. Sorry, I talk a lot. But now you can just go as fast as you like, as long as you concentrate. I cannot go faster than this because I'm talking, I'm teaching. But when I'm totally concentrate, I'm a daredevil at the beats. I can go really, really fast. And it's not because I'm skillful, but because I prep my brush right with the right gel. You see, with a builder gel, by now, I already go up here and have to fix all of these. And that is if I have OCD, because you know when you fix it, it's not gonna stay there. With builder gel, it's gonna slide right back and have to fix again. So instead of spending like 5 minutes on a nail, I spend in like 30 minutes on a nails, just because the system are unorganized, the gel are not right. See, this gel, its job is to hold. It's not cell level at all. It's built to stay put. And with Caviar bead, it is heaven. This gel is heaven for a material like this. Because see, your line is stay. Now, when I put it on, I'm not focusing on put it on a complete straight line. I'm just putting it on because you can go back and make sure it's straight before you cure this. So that's why it can be a little imperfect, and that's fine, but you know that it's gonna stay there. It's not gonna run anywhere. Okay, now do you see that finger where I just have a little trouble putting it off? It's not because of my brush, it's because I don't have enough gel right here. So when you put on, don't put a lot of gel, but don't put too little of it. With experience, you will get good at the amount. But I just draw a line that you see there. And as long as you can just pick up easy, release easy. You have 2 on your brush, you can release both. See that by turning and switching your brush like this. Let me take up a few and show you again. Let me pick up 3 bead or something. I have a whole bunch just because I use my body. But here, you pick up one. If you want to pick up more than one, you have to twist your brush and use the body this time. And that's a little more risky, because if you don't lay your body of your brush well, then you will end up having bead all alongside of this brush, which is fine if you can maneuver it. But how I do it, let me zoom in really close so you can see. But I take my brush and I turn it certain way, like this way. See, I trust that the gel will hold the bead and I can let go. That's why the gel you use are so important with this kind of work. Because if it couldn't hold your bead, then you have to yank it up. It'll be a hot mess, trust me. And the way you prep your brush is just as important. Because this brush cannot hold bead very well. It can hold bead, but it can let go easy. Because it's not caked with gels. So that is helping me pick up, and this gel helping me release. See that? And then I just turn my bead, my brush, so my bead can face it and just release it. So that is a pick up and the release that are a challenge to the people. Okay, so that's part one. Then remember, I don't have it too perfect because, well, number one, I'm keep talking, that's why it's not perfect. But number two is you can go fast and then you can go back and sort of adjust in it. But you're not gonna have like a bunch of bead all over the nail and then you're trying to make a line. That would be too messy. You should have a line first, and slightly imperfect line, and then you go back and you adjust it. So that's why the type of tool you use are as important. I use this back in the old day. I use wax, or I even use a dotting tool, which is tragic. Because when something is so hard, it just kicking this bead around. Because it's bounce. You know, when you touch it, it's bounce. Bang, bing, bing. So it kicking this bead around. It would not... Let me use this. See, a light touch can change it. Now you want to change it back? Good luck with that. See that? It's too strong. It's too heavy. It kicking the bead around. And so I move on to use a liner brush like the 10mm. Now these are fine, but you might find yourself a little slower just because it's weak. It's so weak that it couldn't move the bead at once, fast. You have to touch it like about a couple of times to move it, which are probably good for beginner. If they have a heavy hand, they can use 10mm. But now I find the perfect brush for it is an embossed brush. Because an embossed brush is strong, but it's not metal. It's not hard. It still have the soft end like the 10mm, but the body is much stronger. So now it can move my bead exactly where I want them. And when I'm done, I can hear. Do you hear an earful of me? Oh, but that is a very potent combination of technique and product manipulation that allow you to do super intricate work. Because these type of work are a fantasy for most people. When you use beads to make all kind of design, it's a fantasy for most people because it's like AI for most people. Because it's nearly impossible. You know, it's so hard to work with bead, but it's not your skill, it's your gel. That's number one, is your gel you use. Clear texture gel are famous for caviar bead. The tool you use, like the right brush, that also very important. As I say, liner brush is okay, but it will make it slower. And this, don't even dream about it. It's tragic to use something hard. So the right brush are very important. And how you load your brush are very important too. You don't want this. You don't want to take this and dip it into this. That is bad. No. So you take that and you just reduce the amount of gel to what all it is a very thin coat. Coated the brush, very thin coat. This is almost too much. So you have to keep on going to what is, you can touch it and you don't feel any wetness, but you can feel that it's sticky. That is when you can pick up your bead and just enough to pick it up, but not messy that is want to hang on to the brush. And then the type of gel that I use here, when I touch the bead, it grab onto the bead. And then because I don't have a lot of gel here, I let go very easy. So that is a combination of picking it up, releasing it. Can be, if you don't know how to do it, caviar bead, you should be working blind. So that's why you get an ear for a part 1. Because part 2 is securing it. What's the point of making something beautiful and don't know how to keep it forever? So, how you secure it, just top coat. If you think that you're going to use this gel or a builder gel to secure it, that is no. That's what I do in the beginning. In the beginning, when I'm fresh, I use this to like cake it onto my bead and it looks so ugly. But that was like 15 years ago. So 15 years ago, that was like doable. But now you want it to be just as beautiful as this. You don't want to change this look. And that would be done with top coat. Okay. So there's 2 ways to do it. Number 1 is you keep the background, you top coat it already. So you apply bead on and now you using top coat to apply on the bead to seal it. Trust me, it sounds simple, but it's not. But that's how I started explaining for you. It to just apply on the bead like this. Okay. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then flash cure it. And that's how you seal it. You can do it twice. That sounds simple. Okay. But let's go back to, let's give you something big like this. Then now it will start to make sense. Because small, you couldn't see. Isn't that impressive though? And if you don't think that that is impressive, you should know that these beads that I'm using here, I haven't cured it yet. Look. I can move it. See that? So just the holding ability that it have alone is impressive for these type of beads that are big. If you ever work with big beads like this, you know that they are so heavy. Like with big bead, I don't pick up with a brush. I pick up with this because it's heavy. So for it to hold like this, and I can turn it upside down, I can shake it like this. That is amazing. Because it haven't even cured. It's wet. That's why when you work with a right gel, you can keep on working and adjusting it at the end without curing in between. Because before, one of my strategy is to do a little bit with builder gel and then put a few beads and then cure it and then continue. My line is not flawless. So I'm going to cure this. Okay, now I have my top coat is already out. Okay, it's a very thin top coat. And I will have my coloring brush usually for the sealing. But for big bead like this, I will use my round brush. It's just bigger. Okay. My round brush. Okay, so I'm soaking it with top coat and I want you to see this. It's not just applying top coat on top of it. It's this. You apply top coat. Okay. It's top coat. It's gonna run down. It's not gonna stay on top. It's gonna run down. And when it does, it cover the inside of the bead, the bottom of the bead. It completely cover everything. Okay. Like this. It's not just on top, but it's covered. It's completely surround the side, the inside. It cake it with top coat. As you can see here. See, it start going down now. So you can see. See top coat right there? See that? Yeah, that's top coat. It going down. So that's why I wait. I wait for about 4 seconds. I wait for it to going down. And cover the bead. Because with a big bead like this, you can paint on top, you can paint on the side, you can make sure it's all coat it with top coat. And you can touch the base of it. But I'm talking about a tiny line like this. This is me zooming in. This is plus this is medium bead. I have smaller side bead. With a smaller side, you cannot go around on the side. You can only go on top. That is your only visual field right there, is hovering on top, having a proper amount of gels, and run over it and wait for it to go down and take it your bead before you cure. But when people see me doing this, they don't know why I wait for it, because they couldn't visually see it. That's why I'm using a big one, so you can see that I put top coat on to the top, because that's all I can see is the top. Imagine this is the tiny little bead that I'm using. That is all I can do, is hover on top like this. But it's a strategy. I wait for it to go down after a few seconds, and then top coat go down really fast because it's level, it's cell level. So it's gonna run down immediately. And then I'm flash curing it, and right now it's already like solid, completely solid, where I can do another coat. But this is all I can do with tiny bead, is to hover on the top, just like this. I cannot go on the side. I can do that with big bead, but not small bead. It's too tiny for me to even see the line. So that's all I can do, but I will trust that it's going down. That's logic, that's fact. It's physics. So it's gonna go down, and I'm gonna cake the entire bead, including the base, and then I cure this. So now you can see really close. If you can see the way the top coat coated the bead, this bead is encapsulated. Okay, it's encapsulated completely. It will never ever come off. Now, when you use a builder gel, the reason why I don't anymore, because it's not going down. A builder gel just caking on top of your bead. That's why people think that just because it's thick, that it can hold the bead and it can protect the bead. No. Builder gel are awful for bead. Number one, the bead gonna slide on you when you apply. Number two, when you secure it, it's not really guaranteed. Because builder gel will just flow on top. And not only it's not securing, it's ruining the look of your bead. Because you want the bead to be circular. You want to see the glare of each bead. And top coat allow you to see that, because top coat is going down, it's protecting the side, the base, but it still have your bead visible on top. Where builder gel is gonna cover all that, and you just see like a glare line all the way through. It's not even look like bead. It's awful. So that's why I choose the right material. Now, when it comes to sealing it, there is problems. There is two kind of problems. That's why I magnify the bead so you can see it well. You can see how I apply top coat on, and you can see how it's run down. Okay. The reason is, number one is people don't put enough top coat. They're afraid, and they put a little bit like this on the top of the bead. Imagine I haven't sealed this bead yet. Okay, they just does it on top. That's just painting the top of the bead. It's not gonna run down. You have to have a bulky amount of gel for the top coat to run down and cover the side of the bead and the base. If you just lightly paint and top coat on top, it just covering the top. It's gonna chips very quickly. Now, the problem number two is people put too much top coat. They are insecure about the amount, so they have like way too much, and then they just cake it on just to be safe. And yes, it will be safe, but it will be awful, because you see this? You see that top coat going out of the line? That's no longer an attractive bead. That's too much top coat. That's why I magnify, so you can understand how it works, so you can adjust the amount of gels. After a few times of doing it, you will know the right amount. You just want it to be enough, but not too much. And if you want, you can apply a little bit, and then wait 1, 2, 3 cured it so it can froze, and then you can keep going. If you think that the gel gonna spread out so fast and it's gonna ruin it, you can do part by part when it comes to sealing. Now, as I say, right now I'm gonna seal this tiny line. As I say, there is two kind. You don't want to be any of these kind. Number one is the scary cat, and number two is a daredevil. Scary cat is when you just have a tiny bit of gel, barely any gel on. Or maybe they don't even use the right brush, not the curling brush or emboss brush, which can hold a lot of top coat. They use like a liner brush, which is used for line painting, not for holding liquidy top coat. So now you have barely anything. And then the scary cat, they will try to like touch the surface like, oh, am I doing anything wrong? No, you're not doing anything wrong. Keep going. They'll be like, ooh, am I there? No, you haven't even started yet. So that's a scary cat. You're not gonna secure well that way. And the two is the daredevil. The daredevil will be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. Like, ooh, like this gonna stay forever. Does it look good? Probably not. So that is a daredevil. So too much or too little, it can mess with you. Now, beside that method of sealing, there is another method. And this, I'm comfortable with this method. I used to use this because it's easy. Let me wipe off the excess gel on this. I don't want too much gel. Let's just pretend like I haven't sealed it yet, okay? It's just a nail surface. I apply some bead on. Now, top coating everything like this. Top coat everything is acceptable, but mediocre. Because what if you have a matte background? You want matte and then the bead. You don't want top coat everywhere. So I love to use this method if the background is matte, because I apply matte after I apply bead. Okay, it will cover everything, but what make it so tasteful is when matte dry, it don't show glare. The reason why apply top coat on everything is okay, but it show glare, meaning this see glare and then it show on your bead. To me, it's not as attractive. Acceptable, but not as attractive. So let's just say I apply matte already on and I cure this. Now it is, you don't see anything on it. The background look like it have nothing on it. And then the bead, everything look perfect. Okay, that is the opportunity. If you have a matte background, this is your opportunity to go an easy way to seal in the bead. You just apply matte all over. Now it's sealed completely, but you can see the bead individually. There is no, if it cake with top coat, then the glare might be very distracting. But with matte, it's beautiful with bead. Now, if you want, you can take a little bit of sanded. And just this time, you no longer need to gauge the amount. You can be a scary cat now. You can have a very little amount of gel and just painting it on. Because why? You're no longer sealing this. You're just painting it. You already seal with a matte. Does that make sense? Now you just painting it. It's not sealing. It's just painting to make the bead shiny again. But you're not sealing the bead. So you don't need to gauge the amount of gels and wait for it to drip down on both sides and cake at the base and then be solid. No, this is not sealing. This is just painting, and painting is way easier. You just have a little amount of top coat, tiny bit. Just dip into your top coat and then just smooth it out. Where you have a tiny bit amount of top coat, and then you just glide lightly on the surface, and it looked really impressive because it looked like you have a bunch of bead right on top of a matte background and you don't have any sealer. Like you can look really close and you cannot see like where is a top coat that have been sealed. You cannot see anything. It's incredibly beautiful. It looks like the bead is embedded into the nails. This is a very expensive look and it's done effortlessly. If you use matte background, you apply the bead and then you matte everything. Clear this, and then you just glide lightly over with top coat to reshine it. So that is way number 2 of sealing. So now you know how to pick up, how to release caviar bead. Okay. Using the proper amount of gel inside the brush and using the proper brush. And then you know what gel to use so your bead doesn't slip and slide on you. And you know how to seal. You know one way of sealing is to apply on top coat and then apply bead on top of top coat and then gauge the amount of top coat after you clear glide on it, gauge it, wait a few seconds for it to start to collapse and coat it the side and completely glaze the top coat and then clear like this. Demonstrate the action again just so you understand. 1, 2, 3. That's how you seal it. You're gonna do a second time. Gauge it. 1, 2, 3. Like that. That's way number 1. Or way number 2 is completely coated with matte. And then just take the top coat and glide over it to reshine it. So that is how you deal with caviar beads. And on my website, caviar bead is right down to not nail art. Yeah, nail art accessory. Click on it and click on caviar bead. I'm still gonna build this category, but I just have a few things on it. But you can find all kind of caviar bead here and clear textured gels. You can find it in 3D art. Click on it and find texture gel right here. Click on it and clear texture gel is in here among others type of texture gels. And so that is how you work with it. Don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube at TinoVo. And everything I use today is available at www.TinoVo.shop. And until next time, bye-bye.